Yeah, so before we get onto the Herc part, could you tell us a bit about the job of a Loadmaster? Because it does sound like a really great job.
Yeah, it's an amazing job. Back then, there were really two or three routes that you could use as a loadmaster. So, loadmaster were helicopter crewmen, and that's the person who's either in the back of the helicopter, moving the stuff around and doing the winching if it's a SAR helicopter, or you could be a fixed wing loadmaster and you would work on either the Hercules, the TriStar in my time, or the VC-10.
Nice.
It's now the Voyager. And you would be a bit more, particularly in the, as they would call it, the shiny fleet, the VC-10 and the TriStar, a bit more like a chief flight attendant. Um, but actually, on the Hercules, you were responsible for airdropping of loads, dispatching of parachutists, all sorts of things. So it's a really broad job that encompassed everything from making sure the weight and balance of the aircraft was right for the captain to making the tea.
Wow, yeah, so a very diverse role there. So then, obviously, you went on to be a pilot. How did this come about? Did you apply for the role, or did someone say, Scott, I think you'd be right to be a pilot?
So a bit of both, really. I applied for the role for the two times once I was in the Air Force. The first time I got knocked back, and then the second time I thought I got knocked back, as you probably find out in the book, and then found out actually by surprise that I'd been accepted. And that was roughly, it was my last time really that I could have applied. Because back then, beyond sort of 26, 27 years of age, you couldn't apply to become an RAF pilot. So I was about on my last chance saloon, and I found out that I'd been successful.
Great stuff. And was that quite a common route, or was that quite a unique way to go to be a pilot?
No, it's a lot more common than you think. A lot of NCO aircrew, non-commissioned aircrew, and navigators swap over to be pilots. And during my time, I have at least four or five friends who started out with me as loadmasters, who've subsequently become pilots in the Air Force.
Really interesting. So, did you always want to go on to the Herc then? Because, I mean, it's iconic, but did you always have that in the back of your mind? That's the route you wanted to go on to if you were going to become a pilot?
No, I wanted to be a search and rescue helicopter winchman,
Oh, wow, really? Wow.
which actually now, with I have an aversion, a very famous aversion to helicopters, might surprise a lot of people. But actually, no, that's when it all started because RAF Lookers had a search and rescue Wessex as it was then. And I joined the Air Cadets and I went on a number of camps and I got spent some time in the Sea King at RAF Lossiemouth, which I thought this was great. What a job. This is what I want to do. And then, oh my goodness, I, by hook or by crook, ended up starting off on a Chinook course. And then, due to a change of priorities, I ended up on the Herc. So it was almost by accident, but actually, it was the start of a very long 18-year love affair with that airplane.